Yep. Habari Gani.
Kuumba.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
How are you, right? What's up, y'all? We are back for day 6, and today's principle is
Kuumba.
Kuumba. With me today, we have Danny.
Hi, y'all. I am Daniel Cozart, senior major in psychology from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Hometown. Represent. So today's principle is Kuumba, as we've already said, and that stands for creativity. To do always as much as we can and the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than what we had when it started or when we inherited it. So the reason why I chose Danny for this principle is because since, I don't know, high school, I looked up to the guy, you know what I'm saying? He was always in AP classes, and it motivated me to see another black man push himself academically. And so I want to say from his class, only 2 of them came to state and enrolled in state. And that made me look at state like, okay, well, if they can be here, I can be here too. And we're here to this day. And seeing Danny just like operate on campus is amazing. And him being an IA ambassador, were you like the secretary, vice president? Vice president of IA. It's dope what he's doing now. Like he's getting into his poetry, his art. And I feel like that's what Kuumba is. It's that creativity and knowing what to do with it. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to ask you, on top of the stuff I listed, what does Kuumba mean to you?
To me, Kuumba means creating something that's an extension of yourself, but that's for other people. Mm-hmm. It means expressing yourself in a way that you know is not only beneficial to you, but beneficial to your community. Mm-hmm. I always felt like, you know, whether it be, you know, whether I'm in the studio, or whether I'm, you know, making a poem or whatever the case is, or if I'm doing spoken word, whatever the case is, art is supposed to make you feel something. Mm-hmm. Poetry is supposed to make you feel something. And it was my way of giving back, at least in whatever capacity that I could, to my people, because you never know what somebody else is going through. So I try to tell my stories, and you know, I've gotten a lot of feedback that's not like, oh, like I feel you, like I've been through that, like, and it's dope to hear like somebody actually say it, like talk about the real things. So that's what Kuumba means to me, man. Authenticity through your work. Mm-hmm. And you know, it doesn't have to be poetry or anything. You know, it can be if you dance, that's creativity. If you create anything you create that's outside of yourself, but that's an extension of yourself, that's creative.
You're talking about Proverbs. I also wanted to ask you too, in what ways have you identified that you exemplified in Kuumba?
Yeah, man. So at first, I didn't really think what I was doing was all that creative, you know, because a lot of people do poetry. But I think how I exemplified it, you know, I try to use every day as like inspiration, in a sense, to fulfill my passion. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'll go around and I'm having meaningful conversations with people, not just the cliche, hey, how you doing? Like I feel like for the most part, anybody who knows me knows, like if they have any issues, they have like whether it be personally, socially, whatever the case may be, you can come and talk to me. And I feel like that's an extension of my poetry, of my creativity, because it put me in a space where it was okay for me to reach out to people, as opposed to you know, falling into old habits and, you know, trying to seclude myself from everything. I actually extended myself to other people through my art.
Mm-hmm. That's dope.
Yeah, appreciate it.
On top of that, I wanted to ask you for this last question. In what ways do you see yourself exhibiting Kuumba before next Kwanzaa?
So I feel like I just gotta elevate, man. Like with my poetry, the biggest thing about art, and this is just for anybody in general, the biggest thing about art is to make sure that you put out what is authentic to you. Mm-hmm. When I originally started doing poetry, I felt like I was making like really cliche poems, you know, and you know some things do need to be cliche because you have to understand the point, but it didn't feel like it was me, you know. And going forward, hopefully me being as authentic as I possibly can be will give other people the courage and the power to do the same. Now, and hopefully with that power, we can all come together as a collective and put each other in places where we know we can succeed and uplift our community. Because that's what it's all about. I'm gonna do my part to help the community. Hopefully other people will do theirs through whatever avenue they can. And yeah, so just like giving people inspiration, man.
No, that cliche part about feeling like it's not right to be cliche. Like the thing is with Kuumba, it's saying we're doing the best with what we've been inherited. Like
exactly.
So you feeling like you're being cliche? It's not like there's nothing wrong with that, brother. I'm sorry. Like J. Cole said at the end of his last album, like it should be up to us to, with our creative flow, to decide what we want to do with what we were left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
definitely.
They provided the image. They provided the blueprint for us, the foundation.
Yeah.
We should have the creative flow to do whatever we want with it. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's poetry, art. Like the thing is, stuff isn't authentic unless you make it so. You know what I'm saying? So you putting your own spin on stuff like your poetry, your music, like that's authenticity.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what you're getting at too, like being authentic and not having to like, I don't know, like swagger jack.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
We're not saying swagger jack, but it's just like Kuumba, like be creative. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
I feel like that's really what this principle is about.
Yeah. When you're going about your creative avenues, always make sure that you keep you at the center of it, but remember what you're doing it for. Remember, we are one as a people. So when one succeeds, we all succeed. It shouldn't be one succeeds and the next couple hate. It should be, if he's eating, I'm supporting him. If I'm eating, he's supporting me. We supporting each other, helping each other build bridges. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Harambe. You already know. Appreciate it.
Yep.